And we are recording on YouTube. And we are recording here as well, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I'm going to call this meeting to order. It's about 6:03. This is
5:03.
5:03. I just started looking at Mr. Wood's face when I said 6:03. 5:03. This is a Zoom meeting, so I will ask my colleagues to identify themselves.
Good evening, Leonard Hull.
Brent Zagrakos, present.
And Ken Pacheco. This is also live on YouTube. I would ask us all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First agenda item is old business, review, discuss, and act on the town office cleaning contract recommendations. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at the new contract? The newer contract, I should say. It's my understanding that the concerns of Dr. Z regarding the police station being cleaned 4 times a week has been addressed, and I believe they're going to do 3 times a week now. Is that?
Yes, at a $2,000, I'm at a $2,000 year savings as well.
Does anybody have any questions about that?
I just wanted to ask if M&S was, obviously they were okay with that?
Yes, I spoke with Aaron on Thursday. He didn't have any problem at all. He was fine, and I also spoke with the chief as well. And the chief was on board on Thursday as well.
You talked to Sergeant Cronin today. Was he able to?
No, Sergeant Cronin was out on Thursday, so I spoke to the chief.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion then.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the revised contract for services with M&S Services at 33 Homestead Avenue, Rehoboth, Mass. 02769 for cleaning services as presented this evening.
I
Is there a
second.
Any discussion? I just want to thank Dr. Z for bringing that to our attention and having the bill reduced a couple $1,000. I'll call for a vote. Selectman Hull,
Aye.
Dr. Z,
Aye.
and Ken Pacheco is also an aye. The next order of business is new business. Review, discuss, and act an interview of town accountant candidate Janelle Bynum.
Hello.
Hello.
So we've, I assume that we've all had an opportunity to review the resume application, her letter, her expression of interest in becoming the next town accountant. Does anybody want to start with the questions?
Sure, I don't mind. So I was very impressed in reviewing your credentials. And I wanted to thank you for applying and being interested in the role. My first question is, why did you want to, or why were you interested in making the leap from the private sector to the public sector?
Well, first, thank you for having me. So I do work in public accounting, but it's not like government public. But my current position is mostly at this time, I do a lot of financial statement review and auditing with nonprofits and other for-profit businesses. But I also do tax preparation, which is pretty grueling during tax season. It's a lot of hours. I have a 3-year-old now, so he takes a lot of time. And being a mom, I don't want to really be away from him as much as that was starting to take away. Like I said, it's a Monday through Saturday job for 3 months of the year. And sometimes it can be a 7 days a week job. And it's kind of a lot. So it's hard, but I'm looking for kind of something that is a little more stable, still normal work hours, a little more family oriented.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Selectman Hull.
Actually, I have 2. The first one, the relationship between the town accountant, town administrator, treasurer, collector, the assessor are critically important. How would you approach these relationships?
I think it's very important to have open communication, between any of your coworkers and here, like the department heads. I think it's important to bounce ideas off of one another, especially where I would be somebody new coming in, and there's, several people here who have been here for several years, others who have been also fairly new, and try to see how we can work together and, make this the best town fiscally that we can. I think that's really important.
We have some outstanding, dedicated employees. Will be a great assistance.
Yes.
One who wasn't here today is Nancy Kulak from the assessors office.
Oh, yeah, yep.
The second question is in regards to your cover letter. Lifelong resident of the town of Dayton.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you, what does Dayton mean?
Dayton, it's a great town. Really, I grew up here. I went to school here all through, kindergarten to high school, and I did leave for a short time. When I left, I thought to myself, oh, I'll never go back to Dayton, little old Dayton. But once I had my son, I immediately wanted to come back because I know it's a great place to be. It's a great town. It's a great place to raise a family. All my family's here, and they too are lifelong residents of Dayton, going back from like my grandparents to my great grandparents. In this position, it'd be nice to be able to give back to the town in a sense, for me.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
So you spent a lot of time in Dayton. Dayton is a great town. I'm a newbie. I've only been here 34 years. So, I'm not even sure I can call myself a Daytonian.
I think you qualify.
I did want to compliment you on your getting your master's degree at UMass Dartmouth.
Thank you.
That's where my wife and I went. That's where we met. And both my daughters went to UMass.
Oh, good.
When I went, it was called SMTI. So it was a while ago, over 50 years ago. So my question is, what do you consider the top 3 qualities of an effective town accountant? Please give examples of demonstrated experience that illustrated these qualities in your own work.
I think efficient is important. I know within a town, there are always deadlines that you have to meet, especially this time of year for you guys. I know is really busy and important with budget season and the start of the new fiscal year. Detail oriented. To me, numbers can sometimes be black and white most of the time, but it's important that you're paying attention to the figures and that they're accurate, and also hardworking and diligent. You don't want to leave anything left behind, especially in a town where the budget is so important. You want to make sure that you're using your funds effectively and you're appropriating them properly. And if you can move funds around to benefit different departments, I think that's important.
Give us an example of your work experience that you had to do something similar to the duties that would be involved here.
Sure.
I know you've had different jobs and everything else.
Yeah. Yep. Right now, in my current position, I do audits, and that's very deadline driven. Everything, even from the nonprofit, they're applying for grants or most of the time it's grants or loans funding. They have to meet certain deadlines. So it's important that we work closely with the client to make sure that we're working along, like going to make their deadlines. Also, again, with tax season, obviously that's major deadline driven. And it's important to make sure that we meet those, especially for our for-profit and non-for-profit clients, so that way we're not putting them in a position where they missed out on a funding opportunity because we kind of lagged behind. So I always try to communicate with the client and who I need to make sure we're going to meet those goals for them.
Thank you. Very good answer.
Thank you.
You have any other questions?
Yes. So I just wanted to start with a statement, and I promise it's related to my question. So I was excited when your your application materials were submitted to us, because I'm a big proponent of having people with different experiences fill roles, because I feel like that enriches the position, it enriches the town, and brings new ideas and new perspectives. So I was really excited. How do you think the role of town accountant would differ from your previous experience, your previous work experience? And how do you think that your experience has prepared you to be successful in the role of town accountant?
So a town accountant position is definitely very different than anything I have currently done. Obviously, in a town, the day-to-day activities are different, working among different department heads, working with the different funds. I know there's, just municipal accounting municipal accounting in general is different than, say, public accounting or your typical corporate accounting. I think, I have a pretty broad background. I've worked in corporate accounting. I have also worked in public accounting, doing the auditing, the financial statement preparation. I think I could bring a lot of different ideas as to how we can do things either, maybe a little bit differently or maybe more effectively and efficiently. Also, of course, with the help of the other department heads, because I would heavily rely on Mary and Mike and to kind of guide me in that direction of what we think will work best. And I just think, I work with a number of different clients in a number of different industries, which has kind of allowed me to be a little bit more open-minded as to how people do things, whether it's a government, a nonprofit, or a for-profit business. No two companies do things the same, even if they're doing the same exact job. So it's kind of helped me to, be flexible, but also within the lines of accounting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Selectman Hull?
Ms. Vining, what is your background as far as accounting software and the use of it?
I've used a number of different accounting softwares. Right now, I mostly use something that's like tax-based and financial statement preparation based. It's called, there's an UltraTax, and then there's like Knowledge Coach, Workpaper CS. I've used something called AS400 in the past, which I don't know if that might be something that's more corporate. Also like QuickBooks, Peachtree, another like engagement software, which again is another financial statement preparation software. But I tend to pick them up fairly quickly. So
Academically, a strong background in that area.
yeah, yep.
I think I know the answer to the next question, hopefully. Where do you think you're going to be 3 to 5 years from now?
Hopefully I would be, if I was accepted into this position here. My long-term goal, again, if hypothetically I was, hired as the town accountant, I'm looking to make like a lifelong career out of this. So I know it would be an investment for the town, but it would be an investment for me to invest myself to give back to the town. I know you can see my resume that I have kind of gone through job to job. I could explain all that, but you don't need to, I'm sure you don't need to know or want to know, but I'm looking for something with stability. As I said, I have a 3-year-old, I have a family here. All my family is here. And I just want to make this, I live here now again, this home, and to ride it all out.
Any other questions from my colleagues?
Yes. Financial forecasting and strengthening capital planning are 2 significant priorities for the town. Do you mind sharing your own experience or thoughts on these 2 areas?
Sure. So I have had some experience, again, like the for-profit clients that we have with, and even the not-for-profit clients with their capital projects, which I know is, again, a little bit different than from a municipal standpoint. But I do think it's very important. And Mike and I kind of touched upon that in one of our discussions. And that's something that I'm very interested in helping the town do. I think it's very important, and I think could help the town plan for the future instead of just kind of going year by year as to what are we, going to be able to afford to do this year. Instead, we could kind of focus the funds on what we think, for the next several years. So that's something that I would definitely be interested in working with Mike closely on, and Mary, and planning that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And if you gentlemen don't have any questions, I wanted to know if you had any questions for us.
I kind of touched upon this with Mike and Mary when I met with them. Obviously, you can tell from my background that it's not very, very strong in the municipal accounting, but obviously I'm more than happy and willing to learn, and I'm looking to make, like I said, like a lifelong investment in this position. So I guess my concern, and again, I've touched upon it with Mike a little bit, is just helping me jump into the position, like the support that I would have there, because I just want to be honest, would need that a little bit. So would that be available?
Did you want to touch upon that?
Yes, and yeah, like, and that's like a really important question, like, and I think like it's important, on both sides, like I have I have, the end of last week, I reached out to a consultant who does this work already. Already because we don't, actually currently have a town accountant, we're gonna need his services anyways. As we close out the end of FY 22 and move into 21 and move into FY 22, and he has agreed out, obviously there's a price we need to budget for. But he's willing to help us and to help Janelle to the board choose. And he does this on a regular basis for other, actually other new town accountants as well. And he did mention as well, like as an aside, the fact that we do, actually have like a candidate who is a CPA, given the market, it's actually a really good thing as well. So yes.
I actually have a question for Mr. Mullin.
Yep.
Chris has officially left, or can he help us as the consultant as well?
So Chris's agreement that we worked out with the town of Rainham, he is on board Wednesdays until the end of this fiscal year. After this week, now, we'll no longer have him on Wednesdays. So what the plan is at this point is that he would help us actually close out the books for the month of June, which is different for the whole year end. And after he does June, basically, we would actually have a transition plan with Chris, and with the consultant, and maybe together with the new town accountant, with a plan to close out the year and then to go forward.
I think it's very important that we have, that she have, if she's hired, the assistance of somebody that can provide her guidance. So she's been quite honest with us as to, I'm gonna say limitations, I don't think that's a proper word, but what you're not gonna be ready for and you wanna learn. So I think it's appropriate that we hire this person, especially if we're gonna hire this person to close out the books anyway.
Yes,
So we can determine what free cash we have and all that kind of good stuff. So I think it would be a great opportunity for you. We do hire this person.
Agreed.
Any other questions? I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we appoint Janelle Vining, our town accountant, contingent upon successful reference checks, as well as contract negotiations.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, I'll ask for a voice vote, selectman vote.
Aye.
Dr. Z.
Aye.
And Ken Pacheco is also right. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. Thank
Now
you.
that you're our town accountant, I just wanted to say, we had two town accountants ago. Mrs. Louise was not from Dayton, but she was very familiar with Dayton and she had family in Dayton. I think that allowed her to be really successful in the role. And I think that will allow you to be really successful in the role. And so I was proud to support you. I'm proud that you live in town and want to be our town accountant. And anytime I get to appoint someone for an important role that's from Dayton, it's a good feeling. So thank you very much.
No, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that because I didn't want to scare her.
Yeah.
I got elected 3 years today and we lost to accountants. So.
No, I already knew that. That's okay. But the one, not this past one, the one previous, she retired here, right? She retired.
She did.
And then
It was here a
the,
long time.
and then the assistant town accountant, she
Yeah,
retired
like,
as well.
yeah, so there is
So
longevity.
there, yeah,
Yeah.
But I suspect that you're going to stick around and I'm joking about that.
No,
I suspect you're going to stick around, you're right back, Tony. And, think
I
it's great
am.
that
I
you-
left and I came back and now that's it. Steven left and now he's back.
Yeah, they all come back.
It's true. We all come back. I said, my husband's from Marshfield, so I left for a short time. I lived in Pembroke and then I said, no, we're going back. We're
You'll
going-
learn to love it.
Yeah, exactly. I said, we're going back. You'll be fine.
We have couch at festivals, we have all that. Good stuff.
I know he missed out last year, so he didn't get the full effect yet. but-
Well, they're gonna have it this year in August, but they won't have the carnival and all that kind of other
Yeah.
stuff, but they will have a culture festival. Well, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Congratulations.
much. Thank you for meeting with me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
What a work with you.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. I'm so nervous. I try not to be, but, okay, so the next step for me, you, everything is what?
Yeah, so I will reach out.
Okay.
I like and want to talk about it. I'll talk to the board. I like it. Oh, and I'll talk with the board as well, like in terms of a contract.
Okay,
And then we can work that out over the next 2 weeks. I am going on vacation tomorrow.
Okay,
For the
have
rest
fun.
of the week. Thank you.
enjoy.
So yeah, like, probably not a lot getting done the rest of this week in terms of that, but I'll.
Okay, great.
I promised Mike that I would not contact him unless there was a real emergency. I don't think that this is, but I'm sure things will be worked out.
Okay,
So,
great.
I'm looking
Thank you
forward
so
to,
much.
Yeah, I look forward to working with you.
You as well. So I'm all set.
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I will
And
be
you
in
weren't
touch.
nervous, it didn't show.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was great to see you
Have a
all,
good
meet you
evening.
all. Thank you, you
You
as
too.
well.
Thank you, Janelle.
Okay, the next agenda item is on the new business review, discuss and act on open meeting law complaint from Patrick Higgins. Let's see if we can get this. This is from Patrick Higgins. And this specific person is Campuchico chairperson was the date of alleged violation is June 23rd, 2021. Description of the alleged violation: the Board of Selectmen violated the open meeting law by not listing the candidates to be considered for appointment or reappointment to public bodies for the fiscal year July 1st, 2021 to June 20th, 2020. It should actually June 30th, 2022, in violation of the open meeting law. And it was a suggestion that we repost a new agenda with a list of candidates to be considered for the annual appointments to public bodies and other positions for the fiscal year July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. Reconsider and vote the annual appointments in compliance with the open meeting law determinations that have been issued by the Division of Open Government. All members must be required to attend a formal open meeting law training without delay. What action would the Board of Selectmen like to take? I would suggest that we continue this, we'll take this under advisement and maybe address this at the July 14th Board of Selectmen meeting. Is that appropriate?
I'm okay.
Well, I was just gonna make the motion.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to motion that we'll be meeting broad.
Mr. Chairman, I'm here if you'd like to discuss it now, or we can resolve it tonight.
I believe.
I think, Mr. Higgins, we're going to continue this to July 14th. Obviously, you're welcome to attend that meeting also.
Well, you only have 14 business days to respond, so I think you're gonna be beyond the deadline.
Can I suggest a different motion?
Yes, I haven't accepted this motion.
Oh,
so-
sorry.
Yeah, no, I haven't accepted, so you can.
In light of what Mr. Higgins, hi, Mr. Higgins.
Hi, Dr. Z, how are you?
Good. In light of what Mr. Higgins has said regarding the timing and the business days, what Somerset does when they handle these complaints is they literally allow the town administrator to handle them directly with council. And so I would suggest that we do the same thing so that it doesn't have to come back to the selectmen. We would allow the town administrator to work directly with
town
council on these.
Excellent.
Yeah, the selectmen don't even, in Somerset anyway, they don't even discuss them. There's no discussion. It's just a motion to allow them to work it out.
So after town administrator speaks to town council, they'll be contacting Mr. Higgins,
Yes,
so
sir.
he knows what's, he's part of the conversation too.
Yes, sir,
correct?
absolutely. Yes, Mr. Higgins, if that's okay.
You guys can do anything you want. My suggestion is, this is my suggestion only. The determination letter came out in 2017. It's number 2017-187, came out in September of 2017. I did go back and look at your agendas, and you've been doing it the same way for the last 4 years, and I just didn't catch it. I'm sorry, but
That's
No,
funny.
no need to apologize.
Yeah, we were okay with you missing them. Pat.
my suggestion, I'll tell you what we'll do.
the board can vote to allow Ken Pacheco to respond. And basically say that, yep, we didn't realize it. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. And starting next year, we will make sure that the list of candidates for reappointment will be listed on the agenda. Ken can do that in about 5 seconds. Send the letter to me with a copy to the Division of Open Government. And then I will respond that I'm satisfied with remedial actions taken by the board. I know you're a relatively new board. I know Nancy's gone. And I know it's Mr. Hull's first year, so he wouldn't have no clue. And as far as the requirements of the appointments. And Dr. Z is just lucky I didn't catch him last year, that's all. But Dr. Z and I have had many conversations. And I think that's the quickest way. Make a motion to allow Ken Pacheco to respond, or Mike Mullen, I don't care either one. And basically say that we appreciate you bringing it to our attention. We weren't aware of it. And we will comply with next year. And I won't make you go through the reposting and redoing, especially where you got 2 days left and there's no way you could repost and re-vote them all. So just, I'm okay with it, just we'll do better in the future. And Ken, you and I go back a long time, so I'm giving you a break tonight. So
Thank you for that suggestion, Mr. Higgins. I will entertain that motion and I will do as Mr. Higgins has suggestion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we allow our town administrator to respond to Mr. Higgins' open meeting law complaint per the discussion this evening, and that the board will, in future appointments, as we did with Mrs. Brady has done with our permits and licensing per Mr. Higgins' suggestion, we will put those on the agenda going forward.
That's not quite what Mr. Higgins had asked.
that's okay. I'm okay with that, Ken. I'm okay with it.
I'll second that.
We're gonna deal.
Any further discussion?
No.
If not, I'll take a voice vote. Mr. Hull, Selectman Hull,
Aye.
Dr. Z,
Aye.
and Ken Pacheco is also an aye.
Let me, if I could just give one more comment, and one of the reasons why I'm amenable to resolving it this way, I'm looking at tonight's agenda, and the interview of the town accountant, a candidate, her name was listed. You've been listing all the names. Somehow the appointments just didn't make it to the agenda. So, I mean, it's not an intentional violation. It's a matter where you weren't aware of the determination letter against where you and I grew up, Ken, and where we went to high school.
Yes. Not the same year. I think I'm a little older, Patrick.
Yeah, just a couple of years, Ken.
Well, thank you for being understanding, Patrick. It's nice seeing you.
You too, and I am still going to Alabama, so.
Wait
You want to chip into
until the summer
GoFundMe?
heat is
Go ahead.
gone, Patrick.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. Wait until the heat passes.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good
Thank you,
night.
Mr. Higgins.
And Mr. Hull, congratulations on your election and best of luck in your career.
Mr. Higgins, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next, we took a vote on it, yes. The next agenda item is to review, discuss, and act on engineering contract for the library.
Okay.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we do, we actually working with Mr. Aguirre, we put out actually for bid, actual engineering services for the work that needs to be done at the library, for the drawings of the ramp and the accessible restroom as well. We put that out. We received actually, actually 2 quotes. We had a site visit there as well, and the firm of Angelo Akirakides, PC, he is a firm that came in actually the lowest responsible bid, but it's also a firm that actually we really look forward to working with to actually get the drawings done and move the project forward. He also attended the walkthrough of the library that we had the end of last month, and both Jim and Jocelyn and I are very excited to get this underway.
Does anybody have any questions about the contract and the recommendation?
My only question would be at what point we would involve the COD coordinator in the discussion on the grant.
Yeah, like, so, like, we would have the COD coordinator involved, like, as soon, as soon as there, like, any plans drawn or envisioned, we would bring the COD
That's what
coordinator
I
in.
thought.
Yes,
Thank you.
So if it goes to the COD coordinator and he requests some changes, that's all part of this contract.
yes,
And I see it has to be done by October 15th, so I assume that the ADA coordinator will see this earlier than that, so that.
Oh,
we
God,
have it,
y-
change it,
yeah,
whatever
yeah, no, he
things
will
need to be,
definitely,
corrected.
yes.
Now, in regards to that, Mr. Aguirre will be working closely with the COD coordinator.
Yes, like both, yeah, both he and I and the library director as well, so we can all be on the same page.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the contract for services with Angelo Kyriakis, Architect PC at 78 Bank Street, Harwichport, Massachusetts, 02646, for services at the Dayton Public Library as presented this evening.
There a second.
Second,
Any further discussion? If not, I'll take a roll call vote. Selectman Hull,
aye.
Dr. Z,
Aye.
and Campuchico's also aye.
Now that it's approved, I wanted to say, I was very excited that my Greek brethren is going to be working on the library, so that's amazing. Had made no factor in my decision making, I was just proud of it.
Do we have the warrants, Ms. Brady? Okay.
Want me to read this? Sure. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the warrant 52E-21 dated June 23rd, 2021, in the amount of $142,500.
Is there
A
a second?
second,
Any discussion? If not, I'll ask for a roll call vote. Selectman Hull,
aye.
Dr. Z,
Aye.
and Campuchico is an aye. Do we have any public input?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to state that I just sent you guys an email with suggested wording to you, Dr. Z, and Mike. I don't know Mr. Hull's email address yet, but it's for your review so you can see if we can get a result tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
It should be in your
Thank you.
email now. I didn't want
well-
Mike to have to work extra. I mean, Mallory asked me to go easy on Mike.
Thank you,
Because,
That's okay, Mr. Higgins, I can hack it.
because he has big heels to fill.
Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah, I do,
Dr. Z's,
yeah.
that was Dr. Z's comment when she left.
That might be uncomfortable, Mr. Higgins, but yeah.
Not that
Back-
grateful.
Is there any other public input? I can't see the names of any requests.
I don't see anything.
No, I don't see anything in
Do you
the,
mind just repeating it, just in case they can't hear me?
yes, is there any other public comment? Mr. Woods, there's a Leslie, and there's a Galaxy phone, if there's any public comment.
I'll let you off the hook tonight.
Thank you, sir.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Who was that?
That's
Woody.
Mr. Wood.
I know. Anybody else? Any public input? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, I wanted to ask one question regarding the services, the financial services we were discussing before. Is that something you'll work outside with Ms. Vining and the consultant?
For the financial management review from TLS?
No,
Well, I'm sorry.
just the consultant that would help in the accounting office.
Yes, so I would hope and expect to actually bring an agreement between actually that consultant and the board,
Okay,
for the July 14th
Okay.
meeting.
that was my question.
Yes,
Awesome.
oh no, absolutely, that would be important, because like, I mean, yeah, like it shows a plan and we need to have a plan at this point.
Okay, so thank you.
No, thank you.
We'll still entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we adjourn.
Second,
Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Patrick.